Hello and welcome back to the SpoilerCast. There we are. Now you can see us. It's the show where we talk about movies, new and old, and we don't care about spoiling them because it's in the title. It's the SpoilerCast. I'm Tobias, the founder or the creator, or whatever, and co-host of the SpoilerCast. And with me, as always, is my sister and trusty co-host Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And we are continuing our trilogy of episodes here, talking about George A. Romero's Living Dead trilogy, for reasons that we have discussed
In previous episodes.
So check those out. They're available everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Podcast
Here on
Addict.
YouTube.
Here on YouTube, you can watch the archived live stream versions. And you can also listen to the special episodes, the Patreon exclusive episodes on Patreon. For $3 a month, you get a weekly exclusive episode. And we've been focusing on other zombie movies in the recent weeks.
And since this is live, we have to say hello to the chat.
Hello to the chat. Let's see.
And
there,
welcome.
There they are. Hello, welcome to the stream, everybody. And
So today,
today,
last day of the trilogy is Day of the Dead.
yeah. This is the first time you saw this movie, right?
Yes.
You had seen the other movies before, Night and Dawn, right?
Yes.
So this was
For some reason, I never saw this.
yeah. Well, it makes sense. It was the least profitable, and it was like the two others were like successes when they came out. They were like, big not blockbusters, but you know what I mean. This one tanked.
I can kind of see why.
Okay. Well, let's just get right into it then. What did you think of Day of the Dead?
It was kind of boring.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say it. I mean, of the three, it is the least interesting one. The storyline is the least interesting. The characters are there are different characters, but they're all kind of boring, or like stereotypical in a boring way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know.
I agree.
Again, the zombies weren't really a threat until, well, the end, of course.
Yeah, well,
That kind of makes it boring as well. Because, it's supposed to be a threat. A little bit of a threat, at least.
we've discussed this, Rebecca. They're not
Yes,
supposed to be
I know.
threat.
The humans are the real threat. Yeah, but we've seen that now for 2 other movies already. So maybe amp up the zombies for the third one and make them a bit more scary.
Yeah.
Well, they look more scary, but,
Yes, the makeup effects are definitely better in this one.
Yes.
And I would say this is by far the goriest one.
Sure, yeah, I'll give it that.
The blood actually looks like blood because in most parts it was actual blood, like pig's blood, and they used real pig's guts and stuff. So it looks very good.
Yeah, but story-wise, it's pretty boring.
All right, I am on the complete opposite. I think this is the best one.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Well, first of all, it's not 2.5 hours long. That helps.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you found this to be more boring than than Dawn. Really, like just objectively, that is a longer movie that meanders for like an hour in the middle.
My entire table is shaking. Yeah, no, but it had more of like things happening, a story actually progressing. This was just from the first like 10 minutes or so in, you know what the story is going to be, what's going to happen.
Really?
More or less. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have the anti-science militaries, and you have the very anti-violence scientists, and obviously, like, they're gonna clash.
Yeah.
But the guys with the guns are gonna be more victorious at first, so they're gonna kill off some of the scientists. Then, yeah, maybe the smart people will escape. because they're smart.
Okay. Well, yeah, all right. I think I like it, because it's the most like fatalistic or pessimistic movie.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
i George Romero doesn't seem to have a lot of faith in humanity at this point, which I'm not.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and I'm not great at like 80s politics, American 80s politics. But I know it was kind of tumultuous. It was the Reagan era, and people on the left really weren't liking it. It's kind of mirroring what's going on today. Well, now hopefully it's gonna get better, but what
But what
happened
was
during
happening?
the last
Yeah.
4 years? Yeah, it's kind of why we did this
Yeah,
theme. Yeah. Anyway,
kind of.
and it's also the effect of the characters, not the characters, but people in general, their unwillingness to act in the first two movies, specifically the second movie, Dawn, has now resulted in the world pretty much being like it's over. We lost
Yeah.
because we couldn't work together. We didn't, we didn't take care of the problems that we were facing. Instead, we kind of buried our heads in the sand, like like what happens in Dawn of the Dead. They just, no, we're fine in here. We have all this stuff. 7 years
Yeah.
later.
How long is 7 years later?
I think it's 7 years. Yeah, 78 to 85. Yeah, 85. Yeah, 7 years. And yeah, you have a world where someone did like quick math, because they mention some numbers on how many zombies there are, that they're supposed to be like 400,000 zombies per every human in the world. And they counted that then if only counting America, there's 600 people alive in America in this movie. That's just, that's not canon. It's just what people
Estimate.
estimate. Yeah. So it's the world has ended. Like, humanity is over. It's too that's not enough people to repopulate the earth. It's not going to work. Or at least not America.
No.
And still in this movie, people are just clashing over like
Silly stuff. Like who's in command and
yeah,
who's gonna eat or whatever.
instead of working together, we are still squabbling internally. And you have characters now that they don't at all listen to each other. Like Captain Rhodes and Professor Logan, they just won't listen to each other. They can't listen to each other. They can't see eye to eye. And then it just comes to this climax when what's he called? The jittery guy. Miguel? No. Anyway,
the guy who was like weak from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's
the whiny
Miguel.
guy. Oh, you
Yeah.
fucking bitch. Oh, he's
The one they called him like yellow or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get. He didn't look Asian to me.
He's not Asian. He's obviously like Latin American or South
Yeah.
American.
Maybe that's an Asian slur. I'm not sure.
A dated racial slur. I don't know. Or maybe just because he's a coward. You yella. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Whatever.
Yeah, it culminates with him just taking a fate into his own hands, and lets all the zombies into the base. Everyone dies.
I mean, he has been bitten, and he kind of thinks that he's gonna die probably.
Yeah,
and he's kind of mad at people for like more or less pushing him to do what happened, to what happened that actually got him bitten.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
because he didn't do anything. That wasn't his fault that the zombie escaped.
No, that's true.
But he feels like everyone's gonna blame him, so he's like, "Fuck you all."
and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He isn't fit to help out but still he is forced to, and then they blame him for something he had no control over. But that's just like surface stuff. In other than that, it's just like he has, from the beginning, he has given up. Like he is not there anymore. So when it's basically the straw that breaks the camel's back when he gets bitten, and he's just, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna kill everyone else. Like, there's no sympathy, no empathy. Everyone is just angry. Everyone's screaming. It is literally the downfall of humanity going on in this little microcosm down there in the mines. And I think it's the most like poignant of the movies. It's really like, it's not like, it's a zombie movie, but we're having some social commentary. Here it's just like, that's all it is. It is just an allegory for the downfall of humanity. And that's why I like it. Plus, the effects are better.
Yeah.
And I love the music. It's probably the soundtrack in Dawn is very, very good. But I love the more synthy soundtrack of Day of the Dead.
Yeah, the soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
I did like that.
And
but
then there's less focus on like the minutia of surviving the apocalypse.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually, because we got enough of that in the second movie.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of because we've already seen that, and these people are safe down there.
Yeah, they've already set up a system,
they're
so
safe
they're
from
fine,
the zombies,
so to
yeah.
speak. Yeah. But
being
underground and being under constant threat, more or less, even though it's not an imminent threat, is tearing at them as humans. Which, I can understand that.
And then even having like there's a hint of humanity in the zombies in Dawn. Remember the scene where Fran sits behind the glass and looks at the zombie, and she helps the nun who is stuck in the door. There's just a little glimmer of sympathy for the zombies still, because they're just victims.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that they're somewhat recognizing certain things.
Yeah. And in this one, the zombies are almost more human than the humans. Like, that's how far Romero has gone in his misanthropy.
Some of the zombies, at least, yeah.
But like the zombies we see down there, the ones who are chained to the wall, and Bob, of course. And even when they, like, capture them, the zombies aren't trying to, like, attack them. They're just trying to get free because they're captured.
Yeah.
And I like that aspect as well, that he has more sympathy. In this movie, it has really gone from having sympathy for the humans and the zombies being these brain-dead monsters in the first movie to having like a hint of sympathy in the second, to the third one where he just hates all the human characters. And the hero of the movie is a zombie.
Yeah, Bob kind of is the hero, isn't he?
He kind of is. He shoots roads. I guess that's it. Yeah, he shoots roads.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything bad. He's proving that zombies are just a product of something that has happened to them. They're not actually bad.
Yeah, exactly. And then having he's talking about like resetting them.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, they're literally going to be like better at being human than us. That's what it's hinting at.
Yeah, because you can teach them from scrap to be good humans.
Exactly.
Or what being a good human entails.
Yeah. So that's why I like the movie. It's like I said, it's the most like brutal in its message, in how it's tells its story. It's just it's ramped up to like 105%. Like I said, and everyone's like overacting.
Yeah.
But purposefully, because they're less human than the zombies.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense when you see it like that. Because I just thought they were overacting.
Yeah, I just thought they were bad actors. Yeah, sure.
Kind of.
Some of them are, but
like the specifically the military people were kind of like, come on. Are you really that bad? Not maybe actors, but just bad in general. Like, why is that what you what you want to like do while you're in this situation?
Yeah, but it's also it's a lawless world now. They don't have any orders to follow. They see
No,
themselves kind of as kings because they have all the guns.
true. But
Um,
being a pig isn't something you should want to be, even though you are the king.
but that's what humans do.
I
That's what
guess.
he portrays so well in this movie.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think this is the best movie. I know most people would argue that Dawn of the Dead is the better movie, but I don't know. I really like this one.
Maybe I need to give it another shot, like in a couple of weeks or something, when I've
Yeah.
had time to digest what we're talking about. Because the first time I see it, yeah, sure, it kind of seems very, kind of, I don't know, minimal in a way. There's not a lot happening. It doesn't feel like there's a lot happening, at least. And there's somehow even fewer characters, even
Mm.
though there are technically more people in the bunker than in the mall, because the zombies kind of add to the the cast. While
Yes.
in this one, there are barely any zombies as well.
Well, that's a budget thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't remember. I read something about it. And listened to some interviews. I don't remember if they cut the budget or if they just didn't give him the budget he needed. But the original script was a much bigger production. They were gonna have like basically a whole army of soldiers. And you were gonna see when they used helicopters and boats to like round up zombies as test subjects in the Everglades in the bayou. And there were gonna be
Okay.
more scenes outside. This it,
See, that would have made it more interesting. Giving it more, just more, would have helped. Because now we're literally stuck in what seems like three rooms.
yeah,
You have like the big hall. You have the place where they capture the zombies, and then you have the lab.
yeah.
There's nothing more going on.
Yeah, and that is because
Yeah, that's a shame. They should have. Did they do a remake on this?
they did. They made a couple of Day of the Dead movies. They're terrible.
Oh gosh.
Like proper terrible. They did one called the Day of the Dead Contagium, which came out like a few years after the Dawn of the Dead remake to kind of capitalize on that one. With Ving
Sure.
Rhames playing Captain Rhodes. Ving Rhames who played the cop in Dawn of the Dead remake.
Oh yeah.
And I saw that. I don't remember the director of that one. But it is absolutely terrible. The only scene I remember from it, it's like people from like an insane asylum or something, and I think one of them is like, he's like, what do you call it? Swiping the floor
Sweeping.
sweeping the floor. Thank you. with a not a mop, the other thing. Anyway, he's like he's complaining over his stomach or something, and the
A
other
broom?
crazy guy sings like constipation. That's the
Okay.
only thing I remember from that movie because he sings the word constipation. I don't know. That's funny to me. The rest of the movie, I've blocked it out of my mind because it's so terrible.
But did Romero get a chance to remake this one with all he wanted to do?
Um, some of the ideas he had for the original Day of the Dead, did end up in Land of the Dead, the next movie he made, in like 20 years after Day of the Dead. He was kind of done with the zombie. Well, there's always a long time between them, but it really felt like he was done with zombie movies after this one. But then he made Land of the Dead, and
Okay.
it had some of the like it's on a much bigger scale. You have like a resistance, and you have the military, and you have the rich people and the poor people, and unfortunately that movie's terrible. Like we talked about that briefly in last week's Patreon episode.
All
I think
right.
Martin mentioned Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. I mean, you could watch it if you want to, but it's yeah,
Maybe for the Patreon exclusive, I'll comment on it, but we'll see
maybe. But then
if
they
I
made
find the time.
then they made another remake or whatever you want to call it. Day of the Dead that came out just a few years ago, like 2017 or something, called Bloodlines. And I don't know. The only thing it has in common with Day of the Dead is the fact that there are zombies and it takes place in like a military base. That's about it. Other than that, oh yeah, and they have an intelligent zombie who
Like Bub.
yeah, kind of like Bob, but instead he's like the focus of the movie, and he falls in love with the female protagonist, and he's like a weird, pervy, creepy guy, like trying to like
Mate
catch
with
her.
her.
Yeah, it's so I didn't finish it because it was so bad. But I watched it a few years ago. I think it's on Netflix now.
I Isn't Bloodline a TV show?
No, oh well, yeah, it is as well. But there's supposed to be a Day of the Dead Bloodline. I think it's called Bloodlines, right? Rasmus in the chat says Bloodlines was really bad. Yeah, and he mentioned there was also a straight to DVD remake in 2008 starring Ving Rhames, right? Yeah.
We have a lot of people in chat this time, which is kind of unusual for us, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but it's good.
But it's fun.
Um,
We're kind of bad at replying to them though, because we know that this is going also for people who are not gonna watch this with the chat or hear
exactly.
this
So
with the chat. So
I try to answer as much as possible in the chat.
if it's not relevant to what we're saying,
So now I'm gonna have to edit this part out.
yeah,
Thanks.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, so you could check that out. I think it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix, or it's on.
Yeah,
I think
we'll
it's
see.
on Prime, but it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So
Maybe it's not worth it then. We'll see.
yeah, and then of course Romero he did a few more zombie movies after his Dead movies. He did Diary of the Dead, where he wanted to cash in on the found footage craze. So it's a movie about like a amateur news team that films stuff during during a zombie apocalypse. And the weird thing is that was made in like 2008 or 9 or something, and it's supposed to take place at the same time as Night of the Living Dead, but it's in our time with camcorders and stuff.
That was my phone.
It's super weird because they like I watched it like 15 years ago. So I don't really remember.
2007, right?
2007. All right. So I don't remember much, but it's supposed to take place like in the same area as Night of the Living Dead, and there might even like be references to Night of the Living Dead in it. It's so weird. And then
that doesn't really make sense when you make a movie. I'm not even gonna try and count how many years after.
Yeah. 40.
Yeah.
40 years.
See, I can understand him trying to like looking at the tagline on the poster. Where will you be when the end begins? Sure, it's like he's kind of like going back to the beginning of stuff, but don't put it in the same timeline as what you did 40 years ago, because it's not gonna match. It's just gonna look weird. Make a reboot, so to speak, then.
But I kind of
just a separate timeline.
I kind of think that's what he wanted to do. It's sort of like the Mad Max movies. Like they take, we have no idea when they take place. Like someone made a timeline once where Max Rakatansky, he was supposed to be like, if they were actually on a proper timeline, he was supposed to be like 85 years old in Beyond Thunderdome. Because it's not important. Like the
not
time
important
is not
to
important.
The story.
Yeah, it's just the ideas being presented in each movie that's important, and I think it's the same. They were going for the same thing. Romero was going for the same thing with his movies. Like So he Night of the Living Dead. I mean, the same thing. Night and Dawn take place like what was 4 weeks?
3 weeks or something.
Yeah, it's a 3-week gap, but really it's a 10-year gap.
Yeah, and you can tell, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be those things.
It is on par with him having that much distance between all of his movies. So yeah, sure, but no.
But no.
Just no.
And then he made one final Dead movie called Survival of the Dead. I never watched it. I've heard both good and bad. Some say it's like a terrible movie, which I kind of lean towards that, even though I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips and stuff. And some say that it's surprisingly good. I was like, I don't know if I would say. I
love that it's tagged as comedy, drama, and horror.
Which Survival?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
But it kind of fits with the theme again, because in this one they are on an island. So in the last movie, well, the second movie, they ended up on an island.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. I don't know.
It
just seems... Just make a separate zombie movie. Don't make it part of the Dead series.
Yeah.
By now.
But I just think he partly he wanted to use the name because it's bankable. And
True.
Also I think it's just a collection of ideas that he wanted to put in the same franchise. Not necessarily that they are one timeline, so to speak.
No.
So that's fine.
No, because all of the movies have different people in them, so they don't take place in the exact same spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't pick up right where except for the one with 3 weeks different. That's another part of the country. Technically, there's another person in the limelight this time. So sure,
yeah,
you can accept some sort of differences.
Yeah, but I would argue that Day of the Dead was the last. The last proper movie. After that, it's like you could call it like a new trilogy of the 2000s movies with Land, Diary, and Survival. Because Night, Dawn, and Day, it's a pretty good trilogy.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Exactly, leave it at that. Well, what time is it? Okay. Was it anything that we discussed? No, anything we haven't discussed that you liked about the movie? Because, like, in general, I get it. You didn't really enjoy it. But was there anything, other than the gore, I suppose, that you did like?
Not much. The music. We said the music as well.
Yeah.
No, but there were some things that I didn't dislike, but they just caught on with me. Like, they used the same nickname again as in the second movie.
Oh,
yeah. They called Flyboy.
Called the Irish guy Flyboy, yeah. I think, and they reference. He says, "No more shopping malls."
Oh yeah, that's
obviously a reference to Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. But I kind of liked the storyline of Dr. Frankenstein, or whatever they called him. Yeah. I don't actually remember what that character's real name was.
He's called Dr. Logan or Professor Logan, something like that. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah, Logan. He's just listed as Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked what he was doing because it did seem like it was kind of on par for what was happening. That you might go crazy enough to not try and cure them, but try and domesticate them. Like they've mentioned before. They mentioned it in the second one as well. The guy arguing on the TV.
Right, the
one with the eye patch.
Eye patch. Dummies!
Yeah,
dummies!
He did say that, like, maybe we should just either starve them or try and domesticate them and feed them what we want them to eat instead of them eating us.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, that is kind of what you're gonna end up at if you don't find a cure. And like they said, they're running low on chemicals and stuff, so how are they gonna find a cure? But not that I know chemicals would help, but
but I also like that because in the beginning it feels like the scientists are the good guys and the soldiers are the bad guys, but then towards the end, it almost feels like the scientists, they're not much better than the soldiers because they listen to the tape recorder that Logan has. He's like recorded private sessions with the zombies, and it sounds like he's crazy, like treating them
he's
like
talking
children.
about mommy.
Yeah,
He's talking about himself as mommy.
Yeah, and you realize like, oh, okay,
he's lost it.
He lost it. Yeah, and when he takes the fresh corpses of the soldiers, not even like zombified soldiers, the one who got shot, and started using him as like food and kept the head alive with the electrodes in the brain and stuff. It's like, this is not working towards a cure, bruh.
No, he's kind of, but that's interesting because that's probably what would happen if you get stuck on an assignment this vital and you can't figure out a way to solve it. Of course, you're gonna try and find another route.
Yeah,
and that route might be trying to domesticate them or bring them back their humanity in a way, even though they're somewhat dead.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to call them though. Are they alive? Are they dead? What are they?
Well, he talks about that. That they are like they aren't alive. Well, first of all, they slowly rot. So obviously they're like the blood is not pumping through them, which is kind of interesting because there's always blood splattering when you shoot them, which shouldn't happen with zombies. But still, that's because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But also when the one where he like removes the head so he can put electrodes in that specific part of the brain in the middle. Yeah. And it's literally just electrical impulses that he can control to make the arms move. Like they're not alive. They're just they're working. Like,
their brains are alive without the blood for somehow.
Yeah.
Like and they don't. Like you said, they don't eat for sustenance. They eat by instinct.
Exactly, it's pure instinct, which also then is kind of contradictory when we are supposed to like sympathize with them, because pure instinct is not a good thing.
No,
pure instinct is well, it's zombies.
Pure instinct, yeah, it's even lower than animals because even animals have reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
More than just survival.
So it's
not even survival for zombies. It's just they have to do something.
They just have to keep going on. That's what they do. That's what they mention in the second one as well. They get up and kill. The people they kill get up and kill. And it's interesting that Logan doesn't really pick up on that because he thinks he can domesticate them, but at the same time he has confirmed that they are pure instinct. Like the brain isn't functioning, it's just keeping it moving.
Yeah.
Which also adds to the pessimism of the movie. Like there's nothing we can do.
But again, then how did Bub?
Yeah, I think
become what he became. I guess.
I think that is just a thematic thing.
Yeah,
like
that's what he does is not pure instinct.
No, it's not.
I mean, some of it's muscle memory, I guess, but he doesn't have that many muscles left, to be honest, because he's decaying.
Yeah, and I think the messages kind of don't align with the literal zombies in the movie.
No,
because the literal zombies, as he says, they are just instinct. They're not alive anymore. There's nothing left going on up there. Other than electrical impulses to keep them moving. But he also uses the zombies as a metaphor for our inhumanity. So yeah, it kind of clashes that way. So, but I think it works for the purpose.
If you don't look too far into it, yes, it works.
Exactly. So in that way, that's part of why I like it so much. And I think I watched it yesterday. And that was the first time in probably like 5 or 6 years. And I think I liked it more now than the last time I watched it, which is different because when I watched Dawn for last week, I liked it less than the last time I watched it. So this one has grown on me, where Dawn has kind of fallen off a little bit. Still a good movie, of course. Still a good movie. Please, don't crucify me. I love Dawn of the Dead. I just think, damn, that it is better.
It's okay. It's okay. You're entitled to your own opinion.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Mostly, yes, mostly. Yeah, I can. And
No, I can understand why this movie might grow on you, because yeah, if you look at it for what it is, and not try to put too much of the previous stories into it, and not try to overanalyze the zombies, sure, Bub is an interesting character, and that brings more to the movie. But for me, it was like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the doctor to waste time on trying to domesticate one zombie
yeah,
while there are thousands more. Like, how long did it take to get Bub this far? And how is he gonna do that in a mass production kind of way?
yeah, it's
Like, that's
futile.
not, yeah, that's not, it's not a good plan.
Yeah, and then that adds to the whole thing that there's nothing we
He's
can
gone
do.
crazy.
He's just crazy. So I have to
Yeah.
keep working.
I mean, I saved him.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess he did, but again, they are decaying, rotting slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, so are we. Technically, we're all gonna die somehow, eventually, but
Yep.
they're probably gonna die much faster.
Exactly. um. Yeah, so I can see why people didn't like it though, because it's the things you mentioned, like the overacting, especially from Joe Pilato as Captain Rhodes. God damn, he acts.
Yeah, and the guy named Steele, he was
Steele,
overacting
and
as well.
his friend Rickles or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot. And
Yes.
the two like civilians, if you will, that are kind of in the middle. I think though they are supposed to represent Romero. Like let's just leave it all behind and reset.
Yeah.
Is kind of what they want to do, and they don't care about a cure. They don't care about the military. They just want to get out of there. So they're probably like avatars for Romero in the movie. But even they, I don't know. It's an Irishman and like a guy with a very thick African accent. They feel kind of like caricatures.
Yeah.
So every character feels a little overdone. And that can be a little jarring. I definitely understand that. But we also do get. I think this is the movie that has the most like iconic lines. I would say that people, other than what is it? When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth, which is from Dawn of the Dead.
They do mention it again, sort of.
Yeah, and then you have They're Coming to Get You, Barbara, from the first one. But this one has Captain Rhodes just spouts so many good one-liners. Like when he says, "I'm running this monkey cage now, Frankenstein." That one is amazing. He screams so loud that the sound kind of
it kind of broke.
yeah. And then when he says, what is it? When you want me to salute this walking bag of pus? Kiss my ass. Or when he gets ripped in half, and even in death, he is defiant. Just goes, choke on him.
I'll give you that
good.
one, but the other ones, I'm not feeling the other one-liners, to be honest. They're not as iconic as They're Coming to Get You, Barbara.
No, but they are performed with such gusto. That I'm amazed that he didn't get more work after this. He
didn't.
No, he of course, like he did some stuff, like minor stuff, but he didn't become like a genre actor, that was in every movie because all the genre directors wanted him because you were Captain Rhodes. That never really happened, which is unfortunate.
Wait, I'm just looking at his IMDb. He was in Dawn of the Dead as well.
Yes.
He was a police officer.
Yes, when they stop to fuel the first time, when they meet up with Peter and Roger, there are some cops there, and there's one with like a beanie,
Yeah.
He's literally like in 5 seconds of the movie. That's Joe Pilato. In
Yeah.
the longer version, the European cut, the one that I prefer, that scene is longer and he has more lines then.
He's also listed as the makeup artist for Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, he is. I didn't know that.
He's the second assistant makeup artist, uncredited.
Oh, I didn't know he died. Oh.
What? Well,
That sucks.
he did do a lot of things though. His last thing was in 2018, to be honest.
Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff, but it was like they're terrible stuff. Like
Yeah, there's nothing I've heard of really.
No, and he did like small roles. I mean, what is this? The Chair. He played security guard. That was his second to last role. Like he never.
He's a Digimon.
Yeah, I saw that. He's
He
voicing.
did Metal Grayman, whoever that is. I don't remember that Digimon.
I don't know. I don't remember. Metal Grayman. Isn't that the main kid's like third evolution thing? I don't remember.
I have no memory of that series beyond like the name of the series and the theme song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's that one. Okay.
Okay, okay. But yeah, he never became like a Bruce Campbell or
no.
I don't know, like a Dolph Lundgren who was like, oh, he continuously like got work in movies because he was in that one iconic role. Then and he's even said in interviews that he is kind of like disappointed, which is very rare to hear such an honest opinion from an actor. Like, because usually,
yeah, but he probably thought that this movie would catapult him into fame and fortune, I guess, or well, a movie career at least.
No, not even that. Like he recognized that this is a genre movie. And people are gonna call it a B movie, even though it isn't one.
Yeah.
But he thought that it would at least get him more work in like movies like this, like Bruce Campbell, who does a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a lot of crap, and then he has Sam Raimi who puts him in big blockbusters. That's it.
Because he made a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe that was the mistake. He didn't make a friend that could put him in other movies, because he made a movie for George A. Romero, which he's a...
Yeah, he doesn't really reuse actors. He
No.
did actually have Joe Pilato in 3 movies, though. So he had a small role in Dawn of the Dead. He had one very small role in a movie called Night Riders, which I've never seen. It's like a motorcycle gang movie. And he was in Day of the Dead. So that's something, I suppose.
Yeah, he got a big role eventually.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, he
didn't get the introduction to Hollywood the way that others did through their first movies.
And he's always been a little, not resentful, but a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Which when you see that that interview, it's an interview for Day of the Dead. I mean, for like some later release, so he's older and bloated. It's kind of sad, but you pity him or you empathize with him, because like, damn it.
It's a shame.
It's a shame, yeah, and it is very sad. He should have had much more work, because he could act, even though
though it was over the top in this one, you can still tell that he can act. It's not like he's properly bad at it.
No, exactly. So that's too bad. But hey, sometimes that happens.
True.
And like I said, it was fun to actually hear someone be honest and say that, yeah, I kind of wish I had a better career.
Yeah.
Otherwise you usually hear like, I love making these kind of movies, and I'm meeting all my fans at conventions. When you've been at conventions, some of them genuinely enjoy meeting their fans, but some of them are just like
they just do it for the money.
They're just doing it for the money. Anthony Daniels, to digress a little bit, the guy who played C-3PO, I guess plays C-3PO, was so... I mean, he was like...
Was I with you on that one? No, I wasn't.
Maybe you weren't, yeah. But he was like... He was happy and he was polite, but he would not
Sure.
the second you use like, oh, could you like say the lines? No, you have to talk to my agent. Not like a joke. He was so seriously. No, you have to talk to my agent. It was like,
Yeah.
oh.
And not even saying it like, I'm sorry, that's a contract breach. I can't do that
Yeah,
without.
he just
No, it was
no.
no.
Talk to my agent. Oh, okay.
That's. You can at least put some motion into it.
Yeah.
You're an actor, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. So he,
Act.
but he's like famous for being full of himself. Like he thinks he's one of the most important actors in the world. Like, come on, guy, you played a robot in Star Wars. Calm down.
That's the one thing people know you from.
That's basically the only thing he's done. But then, if we're gonna talk about like positive meetings with celebrities, when I met Lance Henriksen.
Oh yeah.
Which like, and it's so fun because I always saw him as like he's a proper actor who's like in movies and he's in Mass Effect and he's a real actor, but he has done some like crappy genre stuff, so he does do conventions from time to time. But he would still since he's pretty like popular on conventions, he had like a line. There was a line behind me, not like super long, but it was a line.
Few people at least.
Yeah, but he still, because I brought Dead Man, and I guess it was a little different. Most people probably brought like Aliens or Terminator because he plays a cop in Terminator. So he reacted, and he started like talking about behind the scenes and how they would travel travel by horseback through 3 states. And I was like, okay. Like,
but didn't we met? Oh my God, Robert Englund.
Yeah,
was it? He was also kind of that way, right?
It was the same way because he really has embraced the whole
this is my life now.
Yeah, and he was a little quicker because his line was miles long,
much longer.
But he was still like stop, and he would do the rah face from.
Yeah, I think I actually got to take a picture of you shaking his hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. So. I don't know where we're going with this.
Me neither. We kind of got off topic here.
Yeah, I never met Joe Pilato, one of those, but I think he would actually enjoy meeting the fans.
Yeah, he would have been appreciative of the experience more than others.
Yeah. Shouldn't talk ill of the dead, but David Prowse was another one who played the body of Darth Vader. He wasn't like mean, but he was cold.
Maybe he was just over it by then.
Yeah, he probably was. Anyway.
Day
of the Dead. So we should try to like wrap it up. Actually, having seen all 3 of these movies now, and seen the progression, like how the first one is, how the first one deals with the problem, the zombie, the virus, and how it progresses through the other movies. Do you still see a correlation with how we had dealt with the virus in real life, or did it spiral out of control?
Well, we're kind of still. I guess we're somewhere in between the second and third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the end has not come. The day has not come yet. And fortunately, we have a vaccine on the horizon, so maybe.
But I just read that there was some country somewhere in Europe where they're advising against giving it to people over 65 because it has.
Those allergic reaction things.
Yes, and it did kill a bunch of old people in like Wales or wherever it was. So.
Yeah. Well, not to be rude or mean or anything, but people over 65 maybe they're not the ones you should. No, but maybe they're not the ones you should prioritize.
Okay.
Because the children are the future.
I know what you mean.
I'm not saying they need to die. I'm just saying that maybe it's not the worst thing. The Earth is very overpopulated.
Yeah.
It seems weird to kill off the people that might be the ones who save the Earth. So just make some room and let the old ones die faster.
Yeah.
Not saying kill them, just let them die faster.
I agree.
Don't save them.
Let God sort them out.
Yeah.
No.
let nature have its what's it called? Like have its run,
Oh
have
my
its way with
god!
them.
All
Okay,
right,
that's a bit rude,
that's
but you know what I
yeah.
mean.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But can you see like why I chose these movies now that we've seen all of
Yeah.
them, and like how we need to actually like we need to find a solution before it's too late.
Yes.
And this is
Definitely.
it's a perfect analogy for a real like virus
I mean, we've even had
release spread very
some of we've even had like some of the staples of these movies. We had the panic of seeing someone in public in the beginning of like as soon as someone coughed, people like
oh
part
yeah,
like the Red Sea. And you
they
have
avoided you
in
like you were a zombie.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally. And I mean, coming from my boyfriend, he has asthma, so he coughs constantly.
Yeah.
Like going shopping with him is a nightmare because people will literally run away from us
Yeah.
and like look at us like, what the hell are you doing? So I've come to the solution that I keep telling him like, have you taken your asthma medication? Loudly so everyone will hear him that, oh, it's asthma. Trying to calm
Medication?
people.
What?
I don't know. Yeah. But also like the second movie with the consumerism, because we did have a period of time where people were like going crazy
Yes.
buying new stuff to have at home because you had to do everything at home, so everyone bought like workout equipment and new technology so you could sit better at home working and
Or just toilet
or just
paper.
or just toilet paper
Oh my god.
and hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Yeah, and only thinking of themselves. Like, will there?
Yeah.
I don't know if you how much stuff you watched from the real that when there was like the worst, like in what July last year.
Yeah.
And people literally like beating each other up over
I
like
saw clips.
one roll of toilet paper. It's like,
I saw
calm
clips
down.
here and there of like literally like 40-year-olds who had like a big packet of toilet paper already, like pushing away old people to grab the second one. I'm like, come on, you
Yeah.
have one, let them have one.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the end of the world to not have toilet paper.
Yeah. But I mean,
You can get clean in other ways, I promise.
how am I supposed to wipe my ass?
You know, I've seen more mentions of bidets online as well since, to be honest.
That should be the next step. Toilet paper feels kind of outdated.
It does.
Even before this.
Yeah.
Anyway, but well, then I gotta ask you, like, just to round this off, then to bring it back to the real world. Back then, did you like panic buy anything?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah. Flour.
Okay, flour.
Because to be honest, we had everything else we could need, and we had almost no flour. So I was like, maybe we should just get like a couple of kilos of flour just in case. We can always like make our own bread. It's good for pancakes and stuff.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. We're like, we don't have it, so maybe we should have it.
Yeah.
But we didn't panic by like canned goods or toilet paper.
No.
And okay, I can get hand sanitizer from my job, so I didn't have to care about that.
Yeah, you're lucky you work for a chemical company, so you had enough hand sanitizer.
I had all the
cleaning
chemicals
products.
I needed to keep everything clean and sanitized.
Yeah.
I still have.
I actually bought one like 10 or 12 pack of toilet paper during this the chaos thing, but that was because I actually ran out of toilet paper, so I had to.
I mean we did eventually because we ran out of toilet paper, and we always buy the big pack, because why not?
Yeah, but it was so fun because even in a small like town where I live, well, I almost docked myself, but it is literally like in the center area where I live, because there's a bunch of like houses in the periphery, but where I live there's literally like 400 people that live in the houses around me, in the apartment blocks around me, and all those 400 people basically shop in one grocery shop.
Yeah, you only have that one, right?
Yeah, there are a couple like smaller like livsmedelsbutiker here and there.
Yeah, but not like
convenience
proper.
store, but there's not like like not like a big food store. But even in a small community like mine, people were just, shelves were empty. Like I wanted to buy one 10-pack of toilet rolls, and there was barely any left. All the canned goods were out. Like, there was no beans, no ravioli, nothing. Like, and it's so.
I mean, I had colleagues mentioning that, like, yeah, they stocked up on stuff, like.
But it was so weird, even in a small place like this. So weird to see
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
I did notice that some things were like emptied. In the big, I go to the big supermarket when I shop because it's easier for me, and I have a car, so I can do that.
Yeah.
But like, people were like freaking out over weird stuff being out, like cereal and that chocolate powder you make chocolate milk with. Like,
Yeah.
why freak out over that? They made like headlines eventually because the producers couldn't. The brand is O'boy in Swedish.
Yeah.
They made headlines because they couldn't produce enough O'boy to stock the shelves.
It's like Nesquik or Ovaltine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't remember. Maybe it was. There is a big like bread company, a big bakery here in Sweden called. They make that Nord. Tunnbröd. Nord.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Nordpärlan or something.
Yeah. Oh right, their factory burned down.
It was kind of fun because that's another thing. A lot of people were buying like bread because you need bread, because bread doesn't go bad in like a week.
You can freeze it, I guess.
Freeze it, sure, but
it's not the same.
Then
can't have it.
I would rather buy canned goods then. But anyways, people were just panic buying bread, and that's one of the more popular brands in Sweden. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of this, their fucking factory catches on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
At first, when I heard it, I was like, "Oh my god, did someone like set fire to it while looting it or something?"
If I can't have the bread, no one can. Yeah.
I think it was like a mechanical failure.
Yeah, because they were swamped. Man, we gotta make more bread.
But there were factories being like more or less harassed for not like putting out more of. Well, I think it was like latex gloves and hand sanitizers.
Yeah.
And being employed by a company that sells those two products, we had so many calls and emails and questions about our stock. We even had to find like a couple of new distributors, to be able to continue and keep up our sales or like our customers, because we do cater to a bunch of hospitals in a couple of countries. So we were essential, so to say, but like, Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
and amidst all that, they put on a block between a few countries where you couldn't send certain materials
because of the virus.
I'm not sure, but it did include certain materials that are in gloves, like protective gloves, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like, why not just allow that in every single country now? Because where our manufacturers is a big ass country on that.
Yeah.
But they couldn't ship to every country in the world, which is weird. They weren't allowed to.
And then so that was from a comparative to the zombie virus, a pretty mild virus that we had to deal with.
Yeah.
But still, we panicked this bad.
I cannot imagine what would happen if we actually had people rising from the dead.
Yeah, and it's spread as fast as it does in the movies, and we can't contain it. It's like, Jesus Christ. And maybe that is also like why I found this movie much more compelling than I have before.
Maybe
because we've watched so many zombie movies over the last few weeks, and coupling that with, like I said when we talked about the first movie, like, we're still in lockdown, or I guess in quarantine, and a new year has starred. Like,
now it finally feels like shit.
Yeah, we're not getting anywhere.
We're
not getting anywhere. And I just feel like if this is how badly we handled this situation, it's gonna be 10 times worse if another more deadlier virus appears.
Yeah.
So a little nervous.
We had a report from our managers, I guess, that they had read somewhere today
Yeah.
that the prognosis for working at home is looking like it's gonna last until 2022.
Jesus. Okay. So the
So,
whole year.
or maybe even full of 2022. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's what they told me. I worked at home almost all of 2020. I came into the office like a couple of days, because we worked out like you can work here a few days at least. Well, yeah, sure. And then I did that for a few days, and it was just like, maybe you should work from home until they have a vaccine, because that's when they kind of ramped up here in Sweden. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we just signed a prolonging of our work from home agreement for another 3 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're prepared.
Yeah. So
We'll see.
This is looking more and more like this is the new normal.
Maybe once everyone's vaccinated and life is back to what we used to be, maybe we can do a look back at zombie movies and compare it to what actually happened.
Yeah.
That's the plan for like 2 years in the future, though. So we'll see about that. But
We'll see about
maybe.
That. Yeah. But I think that's gonna have to be it for today.
Yes, and for the Dead trilogy.
Yes, this was the final Dead movie, Living Dead movie. So I'm not sure what we're doing next week. It's your
my
choice.
Week.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, I mean, I picked 3 movies, but and so if you want to, you can pick 3 movies, or we'll just do every other week like we're supposed to.
I think we're gonna do less of a series now and do more singular movies to keep the content very versatile. What's the word?
Yeah, versatile or varied.
Yeah, varied. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not sure yet, so we'll see next week what I decide on.
Yes, but we're still going to talk about zombie movies one last time in this week's Patreon exclusive episode, and you haven't heard yet, but I've talked a little bit with Martin, who was on last week. And a friend of the show, Christopher, who used to be on the Adam Sandler podcast here on the channel. Because we talked about this briefly in the beginning of this series, that I actually made my own zombie movie back in 2008.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Or I was involved. It wasn't really my movie, but I helped with the script and I helped produce it and stuff. And I was one of the main characters, main actors. And we're going to have like a retrospective on that movie next week, or for this week's Patreon exclusive episode. So we're going to talk some behind the scenes drama. We're going to talk about how we got the idea, and we're just going to talk about the movie basically. And I don't want to promise anything, but we might even put the movie on Patreon for the $10 tier and up. But that's nothing's set in stone yet, because I have to talk to all the actors and everyone has to agree about it. But anyway, we're working on that.
But if you want to see if that happens, you need to be on Patreon. You need to be supporting us on Patreon.
If you want to hear about one of the very few Swedish zombie movies that has ever been produced, like even on an amateur level like us, this is the place. So yeah, check us out on Patreon. And there are four tiers. The $1 tier is just to support us, like a thank you, and it's greatly appreciated. But then on the $3 tier, you get the patron exclusive weekly episode of the podcast, and on the $10 tier, you do get bi-monthly videos. I don't really have a schedule for videos yet, but the $10 tier gets you exclusive videos. And then, of course, the $20 tier, if you're insane and you want to spend that much money on us, you will be officially credited as an executive producer on everything we produce here. Plus everything else, of course, that you get.
Everything that's included in this.
In the other tiers. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and you get to help us pick what movies we talk about on SpoilerCast or make reviews of. So definitely check us out there. But if you just wanna subscribe here on YouTube, we greatly appreciate that as well. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell thing. And also
give it a thumbs up if you liked it.
Exactly. Give us some constructive criticism. Or if you just want to listen to us instead of looking at our ugly mugs, check us out on, like I said before, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, almost
Podbean,
anywhere.
all those.
Yeah, Podbean, Podcast Addict. Almost anywhere you can find podcasts, you'll find the SpoilerCast. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. But until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.